Hi, Invention USA. My name is Chris Sylvia, and I am 43 years old. I live in Shoshone, Idaho. I'm a machinist by trade, but I'm also in a partnership with a fellow tattoo artist in a shop in Shoshone called Incorporated Shoshone. We're here to talk about my invention.
How long have you been inventing?
I've been inventing since I was a kid. I was, probably 10 years old when I can think of wanting to tear things apart and make things out of something that didn't exist before. Different kind of bikes and all kinds of crazy different little toys and RC cars and model airplanes and such things like that. But pretty much my whole life I've been tearing things apart and making something out of something into something different.
Tell us what your invention is.
Well, this is my invention here. I started working on this back in '95. It's called the Rage. The suspension system is actually the idea. It's not so much that the truck is the idea, but it's actually the suspension system in the truck. It's called the XFDS, or Extreme Full Directional Suspension. That's basically what it's called.
Okay, talk about how you came up with this revolutionary innovation and what inspired you.
Okay. The reason I came up with this idea was to when I was a kid and was really interested in the RC stuff. As we all know, the RC stuff's very expensive. So I would get the RC cars and spend all the money on the extra batteries, the motors stronger, and they get really fast, but you can't really control them. So what the reason is basically is that the control of it all, So I told myself, that if I ever had another RC car, I would build the one that I knew would work.
Okay, get specific about your invention and how it works.
Okay. Well, what the XFDS suspension system is this is just a prototype. Basically what it entails is that most cars have independent suspension. That's one shock per tire. Okay, most cars on the planet have that. What this does is that this suspension system, the XFDS, is its extreme full directional suspension. So whenever the forces come and hit the face of the tire, all that force is pushed up into the first shock on whatever load is hitting it, facing it front and rear. So what this does is that it actually has inflection and deflection both in the same car. So not only does that, but I have my independent suspension as I have suspension for any incoming force, front and rear. You don't have that on any other vehicle. The other thing is that it has a focal point suspension where the tires can actually leave the ground and still have 3-axis points always touching. So this whole center pivots on its own central shaft, on its own in a focal point, and inflection, and independently having a shock per tire. So when this vehicle hits the terrain, it actually adjusts for what's going on. So not only can it take the forces coming in on it, it can actually adjust itself to the terrain. So if it hits a jump, the whole center point of that will hit the jump. Each tire has its own suspension, but if the force is great enough, it'll actually break the center of gravity, and it will want to set down and not flip over. So, and it always comes back to zero. Most dune buggies and off-road vehicles and Baja and those type of vehicles, you'll notice that in manufacture, they actually have the front ends raked in the front. Mine will go all the way full extension past what they do and then go back to zero for speed. So this, as the car is moving, going faster, it'll actually adjust to the air tension. So as it pulls in, it'll always come back and you can get your speed, but anything that coming at it, it'll walk over it, hit it again on the rear. So that's basically the idea, and this can be changed into many different arrangements for rock crawling. It can help with NASCAR. It can help with off-road vehicles, any four-wheeled off-road vehicles. And if it went into full production in actual vehicle size, it would change a lot of stuff in many different markets.
How much money and time have you put into your invention?
But this is specifically it cost me probably about 6 to 8 months in development. I had to build each individual part of this and get the existing parts at the time in '95 to basically merge into the idea, because you can't just go buy parts for this at any RC car place. And there's a local RC shop here in town, B&B Hobbies, that has been helping me, and even he said he would like to see this on the wall someday, in a suspension system in a vehicle that he would like to have in his own shop to sell. So, and the cost probably right around $3,000 invested financially in the car itself.
What do your family and friends think about your invention?
My family and friends have been really supportive. My parents have supported me. I've had friends and investors in a situation that we had in the beginning, back in '95, that kind of went crazy due to the Federal Trade Commission. But they have supported everything I've had. They it's like nothing we've ever seen before. There's a lot of suspension systems out in the market for a lot of these different vehicles, and even from '95, even in today's market, it's still relevant. I haven't seen anything like it. And they back me on everything. They want to see something succeed for me, and we're hoping that somebody out there sees the whole thing go off into something bigger. So we're just on another adventure here.
What is your dream goal for your invention?
Well, I'd like to see this go into an RC market. I'd like to see it turn into its own force injected, molded, high precision situation where the car is being put in its, some of these can go out to kids, and when they buy the car, they put together a vehicle they can actually control and drive, and when they see it and expect it to do something on the track, that it will actually do what it's supposed to do. And and having it built this way with all of this different